got the upgrade weapons, like all weapons item, because normally near end of the game, you don't have much time to choose what items you buy, and then you can't spend all your money quick enough. So it's important to have damage increase in most of the items. Because I accidentally bought item with low range at start, which I didn't actually look, so we really struggled. The weapon I purchased had low range and it couldn't hit some of the troops. That means if you buy items with 300 range, it doesn't really make any sense for damage output, because there's some troops you won't be able to hit. Surprisingly, even with all of the drawbacks, we still have good income. It's like the top one has 14, we have 10, and the other person has 13. So I just purchased the item which heals HP per hit. We are forcibly doing that because it didn't come up with any HP regen items. No HP regen items in the store. Normally you will see that I reroll the store items quite quickly near the end of the game because we have a lot of money. But we normally have to wait till around 2,500 gold before you refresh the store. Otherwise you can't buy the items you need even if it comes up. Now if we look at the scoreboard, on a fraction of time we're at the top income, and now the other person has 25 and we have 19 income. You can see we're not focusing on a single weapon type because we haven't got the scroll, which increases the damage every 30 seconds. I spent some money to buy that mana shield because we don't have any mana regeneration, and once we get hit, our mana will keep depleting. And mana is basically like mana shield. First you deplete your mana first before you lose health. Instead of going for raw income, I try to purchase one or two of the stun items which I don't already have. Otherwise, it will be more difficult later on, and we'll have to spend more money upgrading our weapons. And the stun weapons may not pop up even in the later game, so I'm just getting it now. And previously we already found out that the stun weapons, only one, even if you repeat the same stun weapon, you don't get multiple enemies won't be stunned. So if it's a single target, even buying two of the same weapons, you won't get two targets stunned at once. But the damage does get increased. Income is very lacking compared to other person. They have 112, we have 58. And apparently I think another person was defeated, but not the person with high income. You can see with the stuff we're buying like damage for all of the weapon types. We can just focus on all of the splash and area damage weapons, and that makes it much easier and more efficient. Because it doesn't always come out the area of fake weapons. But also the final boss is like single target, so still need single target to beat the game, but it's very difficult to get to the final level. So it does make sense to focus on area weapons. We buy the armor item, otherwise we wouldn't have survived all of these hits. We lost quite a bit of health. Unfortunately it was at 13 minutes. The thing was mainly to do potentially with the poor start, and then we didn't get that much income. The other person is just focusing everything on like survival and more HP and tanking the damage. I think a lot of his weapons are close range, and that wouldn't be able to make you beat the final boss. Because the final boss has very high damage, I'll just beat you in 1 or 2 hits. You can also notice I don't have my save file anymore, so I thought it could have potentially saved on the server or something, but doesn't. It stores locally on your computer in the documents folder. So I will back up that. I back up my maps in the documents folder, but not the save files. So I'm going to get this power generator thing, which increases damage for all weapons every 30 seconds. And then we are going to get some damage. Not a lot. But normally like 1 or 2 weapons with the 500 gold is good enough for a few minutes. Ideally I would have wanted to get this Chaos Claw with bounce, because aerial weapons are more efficient. They give you slightly more damage per second. Even from last game, I was already aware that I had to focus a lot on getting income and only focus on income. I was trying to do that, but I think the poor start could have made it more difficult. And then you can see in multiple games which I play, I don't focus on getting much or any HP because it doesn't help. Like taking a hit for a few more seconds wouldn't necessarily make you progress much in the game. It's more important to have like the damage and the income. Even after purchasing all of these income items, we only have 16 compared to the top in the leaderboard, which is 24. We just saw a few of the $5,000 stun weapons come up, but I'm not going to buy that because we just did that last round and that really held us back in the income and we struggled. I'm not doing that again. Only 5 minutes into a game, so I'm going to continue focusing on income. One of the problems I had in the many recent videos of Tower Survivors is that we only buy like area weapons, but when we buy Splash, some of them don't have that large of an area, So might only hit one creep if there aren't many, so the efficiency might be poor sometimes. So we still need some single target weapons to like balance it out. To hold back on buying this 10k stun item because it's still a bit early. There's still a bit more time left before the 15-minute mark, and you don't get to buy any more items. Just brought that normal weapon upgrade because it's going to be much more efficient. So going to buy the pierce one. Also bought the chaos one because we're still a bit lacking in damage. Outcome is only 147 compared to 270, the top leaderboard. But just buying all of the items with attack range of more than 300 because we have so much money and we can't finish it. I didn't notice we ran out of time to purchase items, so we had like 20k gold left. Only have 1150 damage compared to two other players 1300 and 2000 damage. They had more damage and the tower was like super meaty with a lot of health. So the damage increase from our weapons were pretty much similar throughout all of the weapons, and it made it much easier to purchase weapons. We want to have a look to see when the final boss will spawn, because in older versions it just spawns instantly after 50 minutes. Now it doesn't even spawn after 18 minutes, that's like ridiculous. If you look at Jubilee, which we are looking at right now, he has damage increase and everything, but he has a lot of siege damage. I think all the problem is that we're not quick enough in cooking items. You have to be super quick. You have to have good reaction time. But I think we did okay this game. And if you look at the other person who didn't do as well as Jujubee, who just won, he only has focusing on piercing damage and he doesn't have much on anything else. So that's why it's difficult for him to buy items.